Hello friends, welcome back to the next episode of Shadows of Brimstone. We're in the final moments of a battle against some void spiders, so let's finish them off, starting the turn with the darkness roll. 4 and a 2, 6 is not sufficient. Moves up. We have to add a Growing Dread card to our stack, which currently has no cards. So starting a new stack here. Next up, void spiders will activate. So this one will attack a random hero. And that random hero would be 4, so Chase. It will then attack Chase with the 3 combat dice. Normally it only has 2 combat dice, but because of a darkness card, Power of the Void, all void enemies have +1 combat. We need 4 higher. There's 1. So just 1 hit going through. Let's roll for defense. 4. 4 is good enough to block. So Chase did okay here. He's not going to take any damage. Next up to activate, we have B. Let's roll for movement. 3. She will move, but as she's starting her movement, she will have to roll for her escape test. So she needs 4 or higher. And there you go, 5. She rolled a 3. With her +1 move, she can move 4. She's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. And then she will shoot, and she's within range. A 1 is a miss for sure, so that's it for her turn. Next we have Chase. He's going to roll for movement. A 6 is fine. I guess he'll also try to escape the spider. Unfortunately, the 2 is not sufficient. As crazy as it may sound, I'm actually going to spend a grit to re-roll that escape test. Come on. There you go. 6. That's sufficient to escape from the spider, and we have 7 movement actually from the initial roll. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he will shoot. There's 1 hit, 2 hits, so 2 hits, 1 regular and 1 crit. And so let's roll for damage. That would certainly kill the spider, so the spider is defeated. Chase gets 10 XP, he's now at 830. Really catching up quickly to B. They'll now get to catch your breath. B will, instead of rolling to heal, she will just get a grit token. And Chase will roll a 3, which is 2 in a D3. So he gets to heal 2 wounds. It's also the end of turn, so by being next to B, he will heal 1 more. And both heroes will spend a grit, their last grit, to cancel out the Growing Dread card that we have starting in the stack there. That would allow us to remove the top card of the stack. I'm just going to put it at the bottom of the deck here. And we do not have any Growing Dread cards. And let's not forget that Chase had the opportunity to roll a d6 after defeating an enemy. And on a 5 or 6, he gets a grit. So a 3 is not good enough to get a grit. But let's not forget to roll those. What else? We have to get our loot. That was 1 card, 1 threat in the fight. So we get 1 loot card per hero. B gets draw a gear card. Nice. or an artifact in the other worlds. Since we're in the other world, we get to draw an artifact. And then Chase gets some dark stones. Let's roll for that. 6, which means 3 dark stones. Here's the artifact deck for Targa Plateau. We get to draw 1. Use 1 dark stone to activate the deflection field until the end of a fight. Armor 4+. Ah, very nice. That's kind of neat. Alright, that belongs to B. And she has plenty of dark stones for now. And of course, they'll both get 20 experience points. At this point, B's experience is 1025. So she's actually hit the threshold for leveling up to level 3, which requires 1000 XP. So now, at any point in time during this adventure, if we so wish, we can level her up to level 3, which means we get to heal up all of her wounds, and we get to gain some new abilities. Alright, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Let's move on and see what lies ahead. We're gonna roll for the darkness. 6 and a 2 is an 8, which is good enough. Next, we're rolling for movement. B's movement is a 5, so she will move 1, and then she will explore and look through this door. The furnace. And there we have the furnace. Let's put an exploration token on there. And then it's Chase's turn. Let's roll for his movement. It's a 1, so unfortunately he's going to take a wound, and he's also going to get a grit. He gets to move 2. I don't think he will move, he'll just stand there. Next, I'm not going to scavenge. Let's see what's here. We have 1 exit and 2 encounters. Still haven't found the 3rd clue. The exit is going to be 6, which is over here. Let's draw our 2 encounters. First one, ancient writing, and second one, cryotubes. Ancient writing. Inlaid into the stonework are a series of glyphs, some sort of ancient writing perhaps. Test lore 6+ for 1 hero. If successful, gain 25 XP, and all heroes may draw a loot card as a panel in the wall slides open. If failed, touching the symbol seems to have provoked a response, as nearby pylons begin powering up. Attack. 1 target pylon. Alright, that's not so bad. Let's do our lore 6+ test. I'm going to choose Chase to do the test because his lore is 3. B's only 2. 6. Alright, we failed. I'm going to spend a grit to reroll that. That's my last grit, by the way. 6! And we failed once again. Unfortunately, that didn't work out as well as I had hoped. A pylon will spring up, probably over here. Before we deal with the fight, we have to finish off this second encounter, which says, on the far wall of the room sits a bank of giant glass tubes inset into alien machinery. So these monsters are from, they're aliens, I guess. They glow with an eerie blue light, and you can just make out the shapes of shadowy figures inside. Each hero may try to open one of the cryotubes if they want, lore 5+ or cunning 6+. Well, I think Chase would have a better chance doing this, lore 5+. I don't think B would do this test, so Chase would go ahead and do his lore test, which is 3 dice. And there we have 2 successes actually. So he passed. He gets 50 experience points. He's at 900 now. But he also needs to roll a die and see what happens as a result of opening this tube. It's probably not a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't be opening random stuff when I'm in a strange environment. I told you we shouldn't do it. He rolled a 1, which is probably the worst roll that you can get on this test. Ambush attack. Draw a low threat card to discover what was trapped inside. These enemies start targeting your hero. Awesome. P stranglers. 3 stranglers. And because it's ambush attack, they will surround the heroes. And they will get +2 initiative in the first go. Alright, fight time. Let's hold back the darkness. 5 and 2, 7. And I don't think that's good enough anymore because we just explored. So the depth track is actually at 8 now. When we explore, we increase this to 10. So we need 8 or higher now to pass this test. And so this failed. We're at 7. Combat. Stranglers will get to go first because they are now +2 initiative. That makes them 6. They will basically attack, chase all of them, I think, because the card said these monsters will target your hero. So they will target Chase, who did the test. Let's do the attack for the 3 monsters towards Chase. They roll 4 combat dice and hit on 3+. That would be 3 hits, but the 6 for Stranglers counts as 3 hits. 3, 4, 5, 5 hits total. Let's defend. 4 or higher, so that's only 1 defended. The rest would go through, which means he's going to take 4 damage. 1 damage for each hit. That brings his health up to 11, or I guess wounds up to 11. Let's do the second attack now. 4 dice once again. And hit on 3 or higher, so 1 hit. Better. Let's defend. 2. 2 is not good enough. That's another wound. Finally, the third one. 3 or higher is a hit. So 1, 2 hits. Let's do defense. And 2 more wounds going through. He's now at 14 out of 19. Next up we have B. He will roll for movement and then try to help out Chase by attacking those stranglers. Her movement is 3. She's not going to move. She will now attack. She's going to use her free attack first. Nice. 6 is a critical hit. So she will assign this to the strangler, probably the one next to her. And the damage is going to be a 4. 4 is going to kill the strangler. She's going to get 25 XP as a result. Next, she has another attack, her regular attack. Come on. A 1 is a complete miss. Alright, that's all for her turn, I think. Next up in initiative order is the target pylons, whose initiative is 4. They will do 1 shot, range of 12. But let's see which hero they target first. 1, 2, 3, B. 4, 5, 6, Chase. Lo and behold, target the guy that has the most wounds, right? Makes sense. Next, let's see whether they hit. A 5. 1 shot is a hit because they needed 3+. So each of a target pylon's range hit counts as D6 hits. Alright. D6 hits is 4 hits. This is 1 hit, but each of these hits count as D6 hits, and we rolled a D6. So it's actually 4 hits. And so I'm going to roll for his defense. Oh boy, this is not looking good for for our friend here, Chase. All right, not bad. 2 defended, but 2 going through. So he's gonna take these 2 hits, and each of them are 2 damage. 4 damage going through. He is now at 18 health out of 19. 18 wounds. Next up, we have Chase. Let's see what he can do to help himself. Roll for movement. This can't be happening. We rolled a 1. He's gonna take a wound, which is gonna KO him. Great. Let's see. Actually, I don't know if we can do a save for that. No, actually, moves of 1 do 1 automatic wound to a hero with no defense roll. So that's gonna hit him for sure, which means he is now KO'd. We need to remove him from the board and put a KO hero marker, which looks like somebody lying dead. And people can actually move through these spaces now. When a hero is KO'd, at the end of any turn when there are no enemies on the board, he may recover. When they recover, they would have to roll on their injury chart to see what kind of effect, permanent effect, they would get. And they can heal 2d6 wounds / sanity. So that is all for our hero's turn. We'll now go back to the beginning by rolling for darkness. And 6 + 4 is good enough. B gets to activate first this time. Rolling for her movement. A 4. 4 is, I think she'll move. She'll move. She'll try to escape the stranglers. I don't think she'll be able to do it though. You need a 6. Yeah, she can't. So she's not gonna move there. Or she's unable to move. She will shoot. 1 shot is a 1, miss. And that's it for her turn, I think. Stranglers and Pylons will activate. They both have initiative 4, so I don't know if it matters who activates first. We're gonna do the Pylons activate first. Pylons have 1 shot, but it's a pretty nasty one. It's a 4, so that's a hit. The hit does d6 hits. So 1 hit, and that 1 hit, let's roll for defense. We defended against it, so no damage going through. Next, let's have our Stranglers activate. 4 combat dice. Ooh, wow. 3 hits going through. Defense. And that's triple 4s. So all defended, very nice. And finally, we have our last Strangler attack. And we have 2, 2, 3, and 4. So 2 hits. Let's defend. We need 3. That's not good. We don't defend. We're gonna get 2 wounds. This is gonna get quite repetitive because B is so bad at shooting. Holding back the darkness. 6 and 6. Wow, that is very good timing. 6 and 6. Though the ancient city has long been abandoned, valuable items can still be found, often just laying around, as though the previous inhabitants just vanished. Each hero may immediately draw a loot card. KO heroes may immediately recover, rolling for their injury / madness and healing 2d6 wounds / sanity as normal for recovering. Very, very timely. Now the question is, does this happen first or this happen first? Because if the loot card happens first, only B is, I guess, a standing hero. But if we can make our killed hero Chase recover first, then Chase would also get to draw a loot card. I don't know. I'm gonna house roll it that we do the text in this order. Each hero may immediately draw a loot card. So only B gets to draw. gold, 50 gold. So she's at 605 and 20 XP. Next, let's roll for healing, 2d6. 4 and a 3, so he gets to heal up 7. Not bad. Here's the injury chart. And this is something that you roll for when you get KO'd. Depending on what you get KO'd for, if it's health, you roll the injury, and if it's sanity, you roll for madness. Let's roll for Chase. We're gonna roll 2d6s, and we're gonna wish that he rolls high. 5 and a 4 is a 9. 9 is a broken collarbone. Not particularly debilitating, but it sure hurts. You find yourself cringing a lot from the pain. You are now -1 max grit. His max grit was 3 from an ability, so I'm just gonna tear this off. He's gonna be at 2 now. That was pretty awesome, rolling double 6s. And now Chase is back up. So at this point, B is going to activate by rolling for movement first. She rolls a 1, which is a wound and a grit. Next, she is going to attack. A 4 is a hit, just not a critical one. Let's see, I guess she'll target the Strangler. That's terrible. 1 damage. 1 damage is not going to do anything because the Stranglers have defense of 2. B is going to trade with Chase now, basically passing off this item. And you can trade in a fight as long as you're adjacent to the character. So she's gonna pass him the deflection field. Use 1 dark stone to activate until the end of the fight. Armor 4+. Chase is not going to activate this just yet, so he's not going to spend a dark stone, but he'll just keep it sort of in his back pocket for now. That was her turn. Next we have our monsters activating. Pylons will attack. Because Chase was KO'd and then the monsters all attacked her, they're now all locked into B. Pylon will attack B. 3 is good enough to hit. Let's roll for damage. Hits. Wow, 6 hits. 6 hits. Okay, that's not good. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's roll for defense. Pretty good defense there, I would have to say. 3 6s. All right, 2 going through. 2 going through, 2 damage each, so 4 damage. 4 damage. She's at 7 now. Next we have the Stranglers, 2 of them. First one attacks, gets 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Defense. Wow. No defense. I am going to spend a grit because that's actually going to knock her out. Yeah, I will have to spend my grit now to reroll this defense. 3, 3. All right, much better. 1 wound going through. She is now at 8. I am worried about her. Final Strangler will attack and gets 3 hits. So she could potentially be knocked out if she doesn't roll any defense. But she does roll some defense. So 1 more hit going through. She is now at 9 wounds. It is time for Chase to shine. I'm gonna roll for his attack. Miss. That's a hit. And then critical hit and a hit as well. So 1 critical and 2 regulars. I'm gonna assign the critical hit to... I think I should do it towards the Pylon because that's sort of the monster that's hardest to hit. Critical only reduces the Pylon's defense to 2 rather than 0. Let's roll for damage against that Pylon. Wow, these Pylons are pretty hard to kill off. With the Dark Stone, it's 3, but with the critical, The pylons are 2 defense. So we have 3 versus a 2 defense. The difference is 1. Only 1 damage goes through. Wow, that's tough. Only 1 damage, and this thing has health of 8. As a result of that attack, Chase is gonna get 5 plus 15, so 20 XP. The other 2 attacks, let's do the first one against one of the stranglers. These are just regular attacks. A 4, the defense of the strangler is 2. So 2 damage going through, and plus 1 from the Darkstone bullets, 3 damage going through, which means they still have 1 health left, that strangler. I'm gonna roll my final attack against the wounded strangler, trying to kill it off. A 5, so definitely killed off, and Chase would get 30 experience point. He's at 950 now. That's gone. End of turn. Chase heals up 1 wound for being next to B. B gets 10 XP for healing him, and Chase needs to roll 1d6 for killing the strangler, and a 2 is not good enough because he needs 5 or 6 to get the grit. And that's it for the turn, I believe.